Welcome back to our discussion on valuation of telecom spectrum with Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, member of the Rajya Sabha. Mr. Chandrasekhar, according to this letter that's been written by Mr. Sitaram Yechury, who's a member of parliament like you in the Rajya Sabha, he belongs to the CPIM, he's written to the Prime Minister that the total loss would be actually more than what was initially thought. If you sort of equate 2G, 3G prices, then the loss on account of granting 122 licenses for new entrants in January 28, according to him, works out to 1,24,000 crores. Add to that the loss incurred by the Exchequer due to the crossover of licenses, allowing CDMA or code division multiple access operators to use what is called GSM or Global System for Mobile Communication, which is often called the dual technology license. That loss, according to him, is about 36,000 crores. Add to that, finally, the loss that is there on account of excess spectrum that has been already there with the GSM operators. They were beyond what they say 6.2 megahertz, and that is estimated at 30,000 crores, 36,000 crores, and 1,24,000 crores. You're coming to the amazingly large amount of money. I mean, this would be categorized as perhaps the biggest scandal in independent India.
No, look, I mean, I think the quibbling over numbers is irrelevant. I think
because these are notional losses.
Yeah, by any arithmetic, the loss to the government is huge. A. B. Look at the opportunities that we could have had as a government if that money was available with us. Less borrowings, we could have invested that money in, instead of borrowing as the government is doing 6 lakh crores, to fund
your infrastructure, your healthcare, education, bijli, sarak,
1 lakh crores is a lot of money that the government could have used in productive ways in its national right to education, in terms of right to work. All of these big programs of social spending could have been funded in a financially prudent manner instead of having to borrow. So the numbers are not relevant. The 3G auctions have revealed without a doubt that there has been a significant swindle on the government of India on the issue of spectrum. Up to this time, all my letters and all our debates in Parliament was all about notional losses.
But now you're saying the loss is real.
Now you just have to look at 3G spectrum and say, look, this is what the spectrum is valued. This gold that you were giving away all this while from 2006 onwards, we've been arguing in Parliament that this is being priced cheap. You came back and said, no, this is not cheap, this is good, this is affordability, blah, 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 blah. Now you have a proof there that investors are willing to pay 10,000 crores for what you've been giving away at 1,500 crores. And they have a business model with it. They can provide services with it, because the argument has been, no, you price it too high, people will not find it viable. So it is clear that there is a huge loss. My letter to the Prime Minister, and I have urged the Prime Minister, let us not leave this as a debating topic in Parliament.
How do you recover? You, in your letter, is saying, let us recover the money swindled from the government. Let us identify the culprits and the wrongdoers. You really think that's feasible and possible?
No. Look, in my opinion, if we all accept as a nation that there is something wrong that has been done on the nation, then it's our obligation to find out who did that wrong. If we all just sit around and say it's wrong, without trying to even put one iota of effort into finding out what went wrong, where did this wrong start, who did this wrong, and at least hold some degree of accountability, and at the same time, if we establish that some amount of money was lost to the people of India, if we don't make some effort at recovering that money, then what is this whole debate about? Is it to score some brownie points, debating points in Parliament? Is it to make media get breaking news? I don't think that's the objective.
Okay. Let's talk about some specific issues. In the past, the telecom minister, Mr. Raja, ignored suggestions that were made by his own officials. Former Secretary Telecom, Mr. D.S. Mathur, former member Finance Telecom Commission, Ms. Manju Madhavan. Then he also ignored specific directives that came from the Law Ministry to set up an EGOM, an empowered group of ministers. Even on the 2nd of November 2007, when the Prime Minister himself wrote to Mr. Raja to ensure that 2G spectrum was allotted in a fair, transparent and efficient manner, his views were ignored. Now we have the Central Vigilance Commission directing the Central Bureau of Investigation to conduct the investigation. Here you have a minister who's sitting in his office, attending cabinet meetings, but a CBI investigation is going on. And he was asked this question in an interview to The Hindu, and Mr. Raja says, let them find out if I've done anything wrong. And the Controller and Auditor General of India is looking into this matter. The Prime Minister himself, in his 24th of May press conference, I'll quote what he said. He said, "I would like to say that our government has been very clear right from the beginning that corruption is a problem. If I come to know that there is any involvement at any level in corruption, we will take action." So does this make you hopeful that that action will be taken against those responsible for causing this huge loss to the people of this country?
No, look, I am very hopeful, but I would be very disappointed if we treat this as another breaking news and it was just there for a while and then people forget and we move on to another thing. I think this is core to whether we are as a nation of laws and rules, and when we keep talking of ourselves as an economic superpower, are we truly an economic superpower of checks and balances, or are we more akin to a banana republic? If this kind of a issue, this kind of a loss to the people of India is left unanswered and not pinned on somebody who is responsible for it, then the fact is then we are where we are. I would be very, very hopeful that today, given the media interest, given the fact that people are beginning to understand the quantum of the loss in real terms and it's not notional, that there would be a sincere effort by the government to establish where this wrong started, who perpetuated the wrong, who all exploited the wrong, who are the beneficiaries of this